Welcome back to another turn of the Game of Shadows. Let's turn to the map. In Trinsmira, Milaki the courtiers, they raise influence to level 1, betting 5 dice as they do it. Empress Georgiana's personal appearance touched off something akin to clavicomania. As word spread, folks journeyed from miles around hoping to catch a glimpse of the glamorous stranger they almost felt they knew. Local merchants did a brisk trade in anything that could reasonably be described as clavician. Local theatres revived the play first staged by certain Trinsmiran mummers, telling the Empress's story. For herself, the Empress hoped this would be the first of many such visits, smiling at everyone and proclaiming herself charmed. Indeed, I dream of a forum where people might meet and discuss the problems we face in these uncertain times, to seek common ground and prevent conflict before they get out of hand. Her courtiers had been here before and exchanged gossip with their acquaintances among the local nobility, speaking the shared language of ancestral glamour and national aspiration. Any mention of missing faces, Lady Berthan is chief among them, provoked uneasy glances and a swift change of subject. Might their hosts like to learn a new dance, currently taking Fontrasilor by storm? It involved a lot of lifts, making physical strength a must, at least for one partner. Of course, I shouldn't tell you this, but the warlord, Her Imperial Majesty's husband, is a terrible dancer. They say this was the only way she could get him to dance with her at all. Of course, the Empress was more than pleased to participate. Indeed, she took obvious pleasure in dancing. Such was her grace that several young lords proclaimed themselves her devoted swains. These she let down gently. It was terribly flattering, of course, but her heart belonged to her husband, and they should pay no mind to rumours of certain difficulties. We have a resource level 5 and an influence 1, plus 1 for being there in person. She rolls 7d6 for this, needs 2 successes, and she gets a 1, a 6, a 3, 1, 4, 1, so it's a success. The people of Milaki are absolutely charmed by Empress Georgiana, a new celebrity for the Trinsmirans. So her influence goes from level 1 to level 2. The Mirran Republican Army mobilizes to 5. Under the watchful eye of Larmans, the TRA travels throughout Milaki, leaving a declaration displayed prominently in each town. If nothing else, the ranks of Mirran Republican Army swell. It is with great hope I sign this declaration establishing formally the Free Republic of Trinsmira. A new age dawns, and I proudly invite all Trinsmirans to join us in freedom and self-determination. To the Eelskull dynasty and people of Rung, appoint your leaders in whatever manner you wish and join us at the table. We shall not bend the knee in obeisance to you, for the time of shackles and obeisance is behind us. We instead offer you our respect and the open hand of cooperation. To Asparik Huksa and his followers, we share your prayer for peace. I look forward to the day diplomacy wins out and ask that you join us in crafting the Republic of Trinsmira. The foul Tracorian Empire treats with you for your support, but their tongues are forked. They have poisoned our countrymen and still refuse to surrender this criminal Simba the Butcher to justice. Join us at the table where your skills may serve our common cause at long last. Take our hands in brotherhood and join the free Trinsmira we've always dreamt of. To Tracoria we offer this advice. Give up your dreams of an enslaved island, mining, fighting, building, and dying at your pleasure. If you desire our ores, you may trade for them, but our children will never again feel the lash of your whips in those mines, and our small folk will never again be publicly executed for your sadistic and macabre entertainment. Trinsmira forever! So, the army goes from level 4 to level 5. We go to Himbergond. In Himbergond, the Lase Knights, level 3, attack resource Spinalunga's Navy level 1, betting 3 dice. Having escorted their sovereign lady safely across the sea and found no threats to her safety in Milaki, the knights decamped at Himmergond, sating their curiosity about how things might have changed since their last visit. Once more, they swiftly attracted bands of curious children, some of whom recognized the funny-talking knights from before, and positioned themselves as experts among their fellows. This latter group were pleased to report that they'd kept practicing and passed on what they'd learned to the newcomers too. Thus, they knew exactly what to do when ships flying the Dracorian Imperial Standard hove into port. The Lase additionally recognized the colours of House Binalunga, the very same who had invaded Lasamos while the knights had been off fighting the Dracorians' anti-creationist allies in distant Illiboria. Such an opportunity for revenge must surely be a sign from the gods. The Lase roll 4d6, get a 4, 2, 1, and 6, against 3 in defense. They only get the 6, which means that the navy is destroyed. We go to Kark. The Wind Mages mobilize from level 2 to level 3. They are mostly there for discreet trading of information. With the new blackmail, they start flooding the airwaves with scandals. Meanwhile, the trade ship captains attack Fundiber's priests level 5. They take the priests on board and kidnap and make them disappear. Club hauling or otherwise make them sleep with the fishes is the idea. But Sambarsin, seeing that the creationist goddess priests being put to harm, come to the aid of the priests. The Fire Tongue must defend creationist beliefs, even at the cost of organized politics. They will block. So the attack fails. The priests survive. We go to Mixa. Fundibera's guards conduct hard drills in the harshest conditions their commanders can imagine, including several mock field battles. Any weak soldiers are fired and replaced by stronger. Bad commanders are likewise replaced by talented ones, turning the unit to one of crack troops, mobilizing from level 4 to level 5. We go to Palamux and Nastrol. The merchants of Nastrol go from level 3 to level 4. Business was booming. The merchant marine prepared for a trade mission far to the south, aiming to build Master Scoffer's previous efforts. Among other things, this meant a hiring spree. The merchants are now level 4. The illusionists in Nastrol also mobilize. The word going around is that Geryon is trying to make peace with the Holy Kishat. Time for mass recruitment effort before something changes. Level 4 to level 5. The Vintners are also mobilizing from level 3 to level 4. After all the excitement of the last months, boring, steady work was almost nice. The Vintners continued to lend their expertise to the Casa River project and did a brisk business among the thirsty workers as well. From level 3 to level 4. The spies in Fontasilor mobilize. The nobles have been spreading rumors about the royal couple. Time for Geryon spies to dig up some dirt on those same nobles to put there in place, just in case, as it were. The spies thus go from level 2 to level 3. The Moscorian plains, while now prosperous, will eventually need a more permanent fix. The Empress has been doing diligent research into something she's calling the Casa River Project. Small-scale tests seem to be effective, but ramping up to full scale would require a tremendous amount of manpower. Managing large forces was something of a specialty for Geryon. He had been wanting to help the Empress out more, so taking on such a large undertaking, while not as glorious as going to war, was still an honorable endeavor. So with the Empress's blessing, he takes control of the region in order to make her vision come true. During the construction, Gerion, with his daughter, placed some leaves and petals from his wedding in the small boat in the river as an offering to Tammuz. So Gerion is raising influence to level 3, bets 5 dice. The Empress has indeed given her blessing, having intervened in the warlord's ancestral domain only to remove the poisonous seed of Dracorian influence there. The scholars helpfully share their findings, both those from the Casa River project to date, as well as from the administrative review of the governance in the area. Thus, head and hands work together to further projects dear to all Clavicians. This is 12d6, and it will succeed, meaning that the Empress loses her influence level 3. Gerion gains influence level 3. And he will also gain 3 fate dice, one of which he uses to invest in a unit called Engineers level 1. And that is the new situation. We go to Lase next. Lase recruits sailors from the locals and spend weeks training them. It is necessary because Lase really don't know much about seafaring beyond some fishers who stick to their trade the way they always have. From level 2 to level 3. The priests in Lase also mobilized to level 2. The faithful animists ministered to the needs of the faithful, sharing their earnest prayers that the gods should continue to smile on those who honor their traditions. From level 1 to level 2. The Loyalists also mobilized. The Loyalists, still exuberant from the Empress's victory in the region, keep a close eye on any Dracorian sympathizers. From level 3 to level 4. Going to Zizbar next. The partisans in Zidisbar mobilized to level 4. The Empress's own irregulars were mildly disappointed by the Dracorian sudden absence. Why should the merchants get to have all the fun? They trained with more experienced hands, biding their time until such time as they might be called upon to defend their homeland. Going from level 3 to level 4. The Mentalists also mobilize. They have gotten some strange feeling, maybe because they have a mental link to the capital. And there we are, level 4. And now off to Iliboria. The organizers do what they do best. In other words, they organize the opposition right out of existence. Seemingly overnight, people loyal to the family take up the key positions, operating seamlessly as though they'd always had the power here. There was no room for error, not with the godmother herself watching on. For her part, the old woman tended her knitting, tut-tutting over the carelessness of the default guild. Just imagine accidentally falling onto a knife like that. And so many of them. She is raising influence to level 3. The Milaki nobles are going to help with 5 dice. They have come to Iliboria. Pleasure barges and family vessels still proudly display the scar left by their naval victory. The flag of the burned child snaps in the breeze above them as they hove into the sight. The privateers, the last of their privateers was a broken man on a Vumbran pier. There's a price to pay for taking Trinsmerian lives on Trinsmerian soil, and the nobles have come to collect. In Golmas, organizers thus find themselves backed by gold, prestige, and a fearless reputation. Goskana's alchemists try to block. This cannot be. This is the home of the Defaults Guild, and it shall be protected. When force of arms might avail, surely the offending parties might run afoul of the mighty Opiander that have brought so many low here. Just a little of the substance, sprinkled on the food. But Fundibera helps in Golma. The mummers put on stage plays that manage to distract, if not the Opiander addicts who are hopelessly beyond help, then at least the supplicants who came to ask guidance of the innocent one. And that distraction proves very effective, for not only are the supplicants distracted, but the alchemists too. The Opiander is applied very clumsily, easy to avoid for the organizers. 11d6. And it works with 2, 3, 4, 6, 1, 2, 6, 4, 2, 3. Yeah. So that's 4 successes when 3 were needed. Goskana da Skugre loses his influence level 3 here, and it is instead now under the firm hand of the Godmother, who now has a level 3 influence in Iliboria. Will we see smuggling operations start here of Opiander? Could be good money in it. I don't know. We'll find out. She gains 3 fate dice here, of course, and will buy mercenaries level 1. We go to Rule next. In Rule, let's see. In Rule, the Defaults agents work to re-establish their networks and contacts. Most of the old contacts have been swept up in the family and gotten promotions. That opened up a space below them. New junior clerks, administrators, secretaries, even janitorial staff cleaning out offices after hours. As they get addicted to the right potions, they offer vital information to the Defaults. Raise influence to level 1. Goskana has 6 dice and nobody else has resources here, and he rolls 4, 4, 3, 3, 6, 3. So that is a success. Goskana da Skugre has a toehold back in Rule. We'll see what he will do with that. Moving to Peraltro. The guards are mobilizing from level 3 to level 4. They are doing drills. Never again will any sabotage befall Peraltro. And the guards now have level 4. To Hudjar. This is their hometown, and the Duke is new and doesn't know what he's doing. The merchants are pushing their wares and selling their secrets. Linvina soon finds herself dominating her duchy again. She's raising influence to level 3. Ariano's foot soldiers help by distributing the merchant goods to the populace and buying it for themselves. Linvina finds herself a primary military contractor. She rolls 8d6. 5, 6, 6, 1... 6611. That is a success, and she thus secures for herself influence level 3, removing Ariano's influence entirely. And she will buy military contractors level 1. We go to Tresilva next. The assassins mobilize to level 4. Rabdahu, don't know her. Terrible business with what just happened at Rance. Just terrible that we weren't in on it. Don't they know it's polite to ask when operating in someone else's turf? Honestly, some people's children. Regardless, the assassins are determined not to be shown up by a bunch of gods botherers a second time. They recruit and train, but really, haven't there always been bodies in the back streets of Tresilva? So the assassins level up to level 4. The torturers gain influence by doing what they do. They're pain management specialists and help the right people manage their pain. Some even pay for the pleasure. Alicela's contacts help by connecting the supplier with the people who need them the most. 7 dice rolled and 2 successes, which is enough to gain Linvina level 1 influence in Tresilva. And of course, she gains a fate die for the trouble. Ladies in waiting are raising influence to level 2 by murdering the right nobles and rich people and seeing to it that the right people become their heir. 5d6 rolled, 6, 3, 2, 3, 6. So it just works. Influence level 2 in Tresilva for Ariano da Spinalunga. Like so. We go to Newmark. The smugglers they mobilize from level 2 to level 3. Anyone need themselves a fast ship operating under cover of darkness? Aha! No, officers, you see, it's the catch of the nocturnal fish. It's a good thing we were here, or you'd have looked right fool, wouldn't you? What's that? No, a good fishing vessel is supposed to sit that low in the water. It's how you know she can handle a catch. And it's now level 3. Of course, the agents cannot mobilize higher than level 5, so they're kind of stuck there. We go to Malusa next. The bankers open new offices in the duchy to provide easy credits to the local refineries. With proper interest, that will leave the right people on the hook. Raise influence to level 1. She rolls a 4, 5, 4, 1, 1, 3. So it's 3 successes. She only needed the 1, and thus Ingolma has now received 1 more level of influence. The water mages perform on the water to garner support and gain new retainers and acolytes. They mobilize from level 3 to level 4. We go to Bralorga next. The Fire Mountain Crohns attack the animist navy. They bet 5 fate dice for this. One evening, while the ships are barely populated and the sailors are mostly in port performing their religious observations, fire breaks out among the closely moored ships of the Inquisition. A particularly level-headed sailor saves the captain's log from the lead ship before the waters of the harbor claim it, and inside find a new entry. Your order has remained welcome on my island except from the harassment of our partisans. Alas, you abused my hospitality by slaying our privateers and supporting the Empire's reconquest of its slave foundries. For the invasion, I forgive you in honor of your past assistance rooting out the Shagalites. For the death of our men, I offer the holy flames of Inashtar to your fleet. You're welcome to practice your faith in your lands. You're not welcome to invade our land or to kill our peoples. The Transmira Animist fleet rolls a 1 on the single d6. And the Fire Mountain Crowns roll 6d6, and they have 2 successes on that, which means that the Animist fleet is eliminated. We go to Britalva. The inconspicuous witches pose as deeply devoted priestesses of Anxalis, gaining the trust of local mayors, village elders, and guild leaders. They abscond with locks of hair, a drop of blood, a vital piece of information. Then they strike leaders or families, they get sick, and the witches have the only cure: raise influence to level 1, betting 4 dice, and they roll a 1, a 3, and a 1 and a 2. So it fails. The local leaders have access to excellent sponsors who quickly provide whatever potions, healing remedies, and therapies they need. The quick victory the witches expected evaporates before their very eyes. The knights mobilize and prepare themselves to burn some witches, staring at the inconspicuous ones while sharpening their blades. So now they're level 4. In Karamak, the Transmirran Highlanders raise influence to level 3. They make contact with many Transmirran expatriates in the shipyards, docks, storehouses of Karamak. Tales are told of the noble Transmirran privateers and the shameful way they were slain by poisoned grog after a long sea voyage. Did the seamen of Karamak know that the Spinalungas, unable to best those brave souls on the open water, were behind the craven murder? They even hired the nefarious Defaults Guild to provide the poison, and it's well known how the Defaults believe a populace should be managed. How long until the Spinalungas, free sailors of Karamak, were a threat to their naval might and had them killed? How long until the Spinalungas decided the shipwrights weren't working long enough hours and used zombieing to create mindless workforce subservient to their will? When indeed would the Spinalungas decide that paying their workers was too much of a drain and the defaults introduced the damnable spice into their community? How long until the Spinalungas tire of burning Transmirran children on foreign shores and look closer to home for their kindling? Tales turn to talk, talk turns to rumors, and rumors turn to discontent so very quickly. The enforcers, of course, know a thing or two about helping people to come to the correct decision. They add to the store of rumors and talk out of their own experience. 11d6. So 1, 2, 6, 1, 1, 2, 5, 1, 4, 5, 5. So that's more than 3 successes, which means that Ariano de Spinalunga loses his control over Karamak, and the Lemur Spada now has influence level 3 over a Paratornian province. This, my friends, is the Transmirran independence fighter who now has level 3 on Paratorna itself. And he is going to buy himself a new resource called a Zeppelin Navy level 1. And there we have it. The smugglers mobilize. They find some old paths that are really good smuggling routes, far from watchful eyes. So they are now level 3. And with that, we go to Safina and Koryulm. The bookies mobilize. The family's finest book cooks find themselves on Safina. Well, that's different. At first, they ply their trade with one eye open, permanently fixed over their shoulder, but the days turn to weeks and they come to realize that this was no sting operation. Indeed, making money off these rubes is like taking candy from a baby. Oh, an evil anti-creationist baby, that is. And the bookies are now level 3. The fishermen mobilize. They see the bookies set up shop and decide to bring in more fish, almost like they're competing with the bookies to see who is most profitable. To the glory of Castique, no doubt. And so the fishermen are level 5. We go to... And on Ardahals and the Frimboline Plains, nothing can happen because Sambars in Korea holds dominant influence, and his resources are maxed out at 5. So there's really nothing more to do there for him. And that ends the round of the Game of Shadows, which covered the second half of the third month of the year for Teska, which means that next time we do Game of Shadows, it will in fact be moving into the month 4 of the year. We'll see what that means for the board. Thank you very much for following this round of the Game of Shadows, and we'll see you again.